What is going on? I'm Zedmod, also known as Anon Moose on the YouTubes. What we're doing today is warships, and there's a very, very specific reason for that. Please go check out the shop right in here. We've got a free booster for 24 hours of free instant training. Now, I kind of assume this is a mea culpa from SuperCell saying, hey, sorry, we realize the tech tree isn't super easy or fun, so I don't know. They didn't actually say that, but I'm just kind of reading between the lines. This is my warship for my Zedmod account. It is fairly low. I wanted to show you a couple things about the tech tree, though. This tech tree is fairly great once you get smoke. There are two roads. There's the top road through the shock, and there's the bottom road through heavies, where you actually end up getting rocket choppas. Now, personally, I think the top road through the shock is a little bit more fun so far by playing it, but I really do enjoy playing warriors. If you do not have instant training going forward, I would highly recommend coming through the bottom road, getting heavies, because that way you have two troops that you can use to farm engine rooms, and using heavies with brick, you can get to level engine tier 20 or so is the word that I'm hearing, if you do it quickly. Now, the reason why I wanted to make this video is right now is the best possible time to attack warships. People who don't normally have instant training now have instant training. They are just throwing their troops at the shore. You should be able to easily farm some engine rooms, and things are going to be very, very good. This is like prime season in order to do anything warships related. So I would highly recommend throwing some troops towards the shores. Get all sorts of engine rooms down. You can get, usually with warriors, you can get 3 engine rooms down in about 3:15 to 3:30, something along those lines. I found with heavies, it's closer to 3 minutes to 3:15, so I definitely do recommend using warriors if you're decent with them, but it all comes down to personal preference. With heavies, you can run over all sorts of mines and basically guarantee yourself getting 3 engine rooms. With warriors, there's a lot more factors involved, so having both allows you to really balance it, and you can use a mixture, obviously, as you just saw here, throwing some heavies on the right-hand side and warriors on the left-hand side. Lots and lots of options. I don't typically like to do that, but it can't hurt. And now, whether you've got your engine rooms free for other people or not really comes down to personal preference. Maybe you want to drop a second one back in here. Maybe you don't want to give away any engine rooms at this exact moment. As you can see here, my win rate is fairly average. Let's have a quick look. I'm probably at the bottom of our task force. Let's find the task force button, since 27% win rate. This account does not have instant training, so I did a lot of retreating and just ugly win rate. Doesn't really matter though to me. So what we're going to do is exactly the same thing. We're going to drop 3 heavies over here and then all sorts over here. I like to drop brick on the left-hand side for that long run to the back left engine room. Again, comes down to personal preference though. Like, look at these heavies. They're just pummeling things. They have so much health, not a big concern whatsoever. Brick obviously doesn't get super close to the troops, so that isn't exactly ideal. And what you can do is throw a couple smokes in, let your troops get underneath the actual smokes so that they don't get destroyed on their way to the engine room, but lots and lots of options. As soon as that other engine room went down, I should have flared this engine room. Not facing any difficult bases at this stage. You start to get difficult bases once you get towards 14 or so. Right at this point, I'm just building my way back up. Really did want to show those 2 tech tree features though, because going north or going south, either one is totally okay. I really do like shock mines. I found they have been a complete game changer, as well as shocks. So going that top road on my other account has been fantastic. I went to the defensive building health, to the shock bomb, to Everspark, and then down, skipping the rocket launcher, and I'm just waiting for enough keys to open that engine room. I don't actually know which road is shorter, but I know that shock bombs or shock mines have been incredibly useful, and it's really fun watching people's troops just get completely stuck on those. Now, for this one, we're going all warriors all the way. This should be a very easy win. One thing I highly recommend doing is dropping Brick first. Brick is a little bit slower than our warrior dudes, so by dropping her first, we're going to guarantee that she gets at least close to where our troops are, and then we're just going to use this nice flare line along the side, getting all of our troops. Now, if this person had mines, this is a big if, obviously, using any sort of wall flare, any sort of long javelin flare like you do on operation attacks, makes a decent difference. It means that your troops will not clump and take out all sorts of mines. Same sort of thing here. Throwing a smoke along here, letting our troops come along this wall, and hopefully keeping Brick alive. If I would have had one more GBE, obviously it would have helped a little bit, but try to use those wall flares, and you can usually avoid a lot of people's poor decisions when setting up their bases simply by using wall flares. So, flaring an engine room, not exactly ideal. Yes, moving on up. I should really not just sing. You know what? It's like an East Side apartment in the town or something. I definitely don't know the lyrics to that one, but so it's same sort of thing. This person's mines aren't adequately placed. I would call that pathetically placed. And by the way, for those of you who are commenting on my base layout, I agree 100%. My base layouts are absolute junk, but I haven't gotten to a level where it's actually been a hindrance yet, because most people at this stage just aren't very good attackers, and so it's just a matter of catching up to people who have instant training, and all of this goodness is going to be crushed by our wonderful warriors. And they actually split on their own. I really do like using ground flares and not flaring engine rooms for that exact purpose. Our warriors all spread in many directions, picked up some extra GBE from removing buildings, and Brick actually gets to where you want. So ground flares with warriors on PvP is fantastic. Ground flares with warriors when you have Brick, also fantastic. So now we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to drop 2 boats of warriors and then just completely and utterly abandon them. Just let them do their thing. They're going to get on the engine room and hopefully take it down. That's why I like to use 2 boats of warriors. It looks like I might have screwed myself a little bit there by letting that smoke get there, but we should, just complete and utter failure. So that, not super awesome. You know what? Should I go back? You know what? We're going to send one more boat in and just try to salvage whatever dignity we can here, because that was not a great idea whatsoever. We're going to throw that one smoke right in there, actually let all of our warriors get to where they want to be, and as soon as that smoke is about done, I'm going to flare that engine room just to make sure that we actually get the engine room down. Okay, so gross. Not fantastic attacks at all. And then of course I forget to drop Brick first, which is lesson number 1 that we've already talked about. Getting all of these troops back into here, and then we're just going to have to run for it. Like, just complete and utter run against machine guns and hope the mortars miss, and just not good. But I think we can still get 3 engine rooms down. Ugly. That was probably the worst attack of my entire life. Speaking of, I had the worst attack of my operation life in the last day or so on one of my other accounts. I wish I would have recorded it. I just go through waves where just complete and utter screw ups. So warriors get a bad reputation for being a little bit of weak and wimpy and not enough health, and with all the mines and stuff this season. But as you saw there, can salvage things fairly decently. We're clearly going to lose, but at least we're going to move towards a chest, and I'm very tempted to delete that attack, but you got to see the bad ones at the same time. So we're going to go same thing right here, 2 boats of warriors. If you have a better suggestion for this, please do let me know. I know that we can throw a boat or 2 of heavies that way as well, but I found that with warriors, I just do better. And by using warriors as opposed to mixing in some heavies, I find that my attacks just basically work out for the best. I don't really know a better way to describe it. But we're going to get right into here against this sniper tower. Hopefully, now I said to use ground flares, but against buildings, you can also use building flares, but it's just the size of the building. A 3x3 building, your troops will run far better than if you try and do it against that 5x5 or whatever size buildings engine rooms are considered. I probably should know that, but Now, my warriors are going to be healing themselves, hopefully, and as soon as we get close to that flamethrower, we just need them to start pounding away so they can heal themselves, and we should have enough oomph to take down that engine room. So lots and lots of ways to use troops. Like I said, though, consider going the south route. That way you can get heavies and warriors. So when this 1 day of instant training expires, you can send warriors at the bases, you can send heavies at the bases, and by maxing them both, you get all sorts of troops in reserve. So actually, I'm very curious to see how many troops we actually have in our reserve. So 104 heavies, that is at least, it's like that's like 2.5 boats worth, I think, or 2.5 full attacks worth, because you have 48 in each. And with warriors, we've got just over 2 as well. So you should be able to get at least, what's that, 12 engine rooms, I would think. Boom, getting an extra chest by moving up to rank 10. Not a super proud moment, but at least we can keep the train moving. Gonna get some boom cannons, and then we're just gonna keep moving along. So that's it for me. It is now February the 1st, leap year. I'm excited. Leap year, February 29th is exciting for some reason. Anyways, that's it for me. Hope you guys have an amazing, fantastic weekend. Don't forget to claim that free 24 hours of instant training, even if you don't play warships. Attack a bunch of operations, clear your map, all of that fun stuff, and I shall talk to you later. Thanks for coming in. I'm Zedmont. Peace.